Who are you? Where we refuse to live beneath what God already wrote about us. Join Buki at Betty, the minister, the builder, the woman who decided purpose was non-negotiable. We're talking identity in Christ, transformation, and the kind of faith that actually moves things. No fluff, no performance, just truth, clarity, and the fire to walk it out. Because you were not created to survive, you were created to manifest. Let's go.
There is a sentence that changed my life. It wasn't a sermon, it wasn't a book, it wasn't something anyone told me. It was something I finally told myself. And once I said it out loud, in my own head, in my own voice, I could never go back to who I was before I said it. Today, I want to tell you what that sentence was. And I want to tell you the story of everything that happened before I was brave enough to say it. Because here is what I've come to believe. Your breakthrough is not waiting on a new opportunity. It's not waiting on somebody to believe in you. It's not even waiting on God to move. Your breakthrough is waiting on you to tell yourself the truth. Let me show you what I mean. I need to take you back. I grew up in a world where average wasn't a warning. It was the water. It was just what was normal. I'm not even talking about people who didn't try. I'm talking about people who tried very hard and still, somehow, the result stayed the same. Businesses that never quite took off. Finances that never quite stretched far enough. Dreams that got spoken about at dinner tables and quietly buried by Monday morning. I want to be careful here. Because this is not a story about blaming anybody. This is not me standing over my family with a finger pointed. Nobody sat me down and said, be average. Nobody handed me a manual for mediocrity. But I noticed something. The atmosphere I grew up in didn't have a language for breakthrough. It had a very fluent language for struggle, for almost, for next time, for maybe things will turn around. I hardly saw milestones get celebrated because there weren't many milestones to celebrate. I hardly saw joy that came from achievement because achievement was rare. What I saw a lot of was survival, getting through, managing, coping. And when that's what surrounds you from the time you are a child, you don't experience it as a tragedy. You experience it as normal. You don't know you are swimming in a water called average, because you've never touched dry land. So without anyone deciding it, without anyone announcing it, that became the inheritance. Not because it was passed down on purpose, but because it was the only pattern available to copy. That's the part I want you to sit with. Some things are not curses. They are not generational altars that have to be prayed down for 40 days. Some things are simply patterns. And patterns exist for one reason. They are things you saw, the things you grew up around, the things that were, without a single evil intention, handed to you. I carried that pattern for a long time without knowing I was carrying it. I want to be specific because vague honesty doesn't set anybody free. Only specific honesty does. I learned how to manage disappointment before I learned how to manage success because I had far more practice at the first one. I learned how to shrink a dream down to a size that felt safe because big dreams in my world had a track record of not surviving contact with reality. I learned how to explain away shortcomings, mine and everyone else's, because explaining was gentler than confronting. I got good. Very good at average. I could have taught a master class in it. Average grades that were fine, average effort that was enough, average outcomes that nobody celebrated and nobody grieved either because they were expected. And here is the part that still humbles me when I think about it. I didn't feel like a failure during any of this. That's what makes an inherited pattern so dangerous. It doesn't feel like defeat while you are living inside it. It feels like identity. It feels like just who you are. You spend years, decades even, mistaking a pattern for a personality. But there came a day I sat with my own life and I actually looked at it. Not the highlight reel version, not the version I posted, the real one. And I asked myself a question I had never had the courage to ask before. Is this actually what I want? Or is this just what I know? Because those are very different things. What I know is comfortable. What I know doesn't require courage because it's already familiar. But what I want, what I actually want, that requires me to admit that what I know has not been working. So I told myself the truth, quietly, almost embarrassingly, because it sounded so simple once I said it. I said, this is my reality and I don't like it. That's it. That's the sentence. This is my reality and I do not like it. I didn't dress it up. I didn't soften it with an explanation about where it came from or who was responsible. I just let it be exactly as plain as it was. This is my reality and I don't like it. And something happened the moment I said that sentence and actually meant it. A chain that have been quietly wrapped around my whole life for years, one I hadn't even known was there because it had already been there, it broke. Not because the truth was pleasant. It wasn't. Truth rarely is at first, but because the truth was finally louder than the excuse. I have come to believe this about breakthrough. It's the moment you stop lying to yourself about where you actually are. You cannot change a room you refuse to admit you are standing in. From that day, something shifted in how I approached everything. Not just the big obvious goals. Everything. I stopped aiming for enough and I started aiming for all the way. If I was going to do something, I decided I would go all the way with it. Not halfway, not safe, not familiar. Average version. All the way. Because I understood something now that I hadn't understood before. Average wasn't a ceiling I had hit. Average was a habit I had learned. And anything learned can be unlearned. So I got intentional. Painfully, deliberately intentional. I studied the people who had what I said I wanted, not to envy them, but to learn the pattern they were living inside of. The same way I had once unknowingly learned the pattern of average. I started celebrating small wins on purpose because I had grown up in a world where wins were rare enough that no one had built the habit of celebrating them. I had to build that habit myself from nothing. I started speaking to myself the way I wished someone had spoken to me, not with empty hype, with honest, steady expectation. You are capable of more than this. Go all the way. I want to say clearly, this is not instant. Telling yourself the truth doesn't erase years of pattern in one conversation, but it does something more important than instant change. It removes your excuse to stay the same. Once you've told yourself the truth, you can't unhear it. You can ignore it. People do that all the time, but you can't unhear it. So here is what I want to leave with you today. If you are living inside a pattern right now, average finances, average relationships, average effort, average outcome, I want you to hear this gently and clearly. It is not necessarily a curse over your bloodline. Sometimes it really is simpler than that. It's a pattern. It's what you saw. It is what got handed to you. Not out of malice, but because it was the only material available. And patterns, unlike curses, don't need deliverance. They need decision. Your breakthrough is not going to arrive as a mood. It's not going to arrive as motivation on a random Tuesday. It's going to arrive the moment you sit with your actual life, not the version you posted, not the version you explain away. You say the sentence out loud. This is my reality and I don't like it. That sentence is not a defeat. That sentence is the door. Because on the other side of that sentence is a decision only you can make. The decision to go all the way, stop negotiating with average, to stop calling a pattern your personality. I am not above average today because my circumstances changed on their own. I am above average today because I told myself the truth on a day nobody was watching, and I decided the truth was going to cost me my excuses. So wherever you are listening to this, in your car, in your kitchen, on a walk, I want you to ask yourself the same question I asked myself. What is the sentence you've been avoiding? What is the truth that, if you finally said it, would break the chain you have been dragging so long you forgot it was even there? Say it, not to me, to yourself. This is Which Who Are You podcast. I'll see you in the next one. Shalom.